We are in such a rush that we miss the gift of time and peace. That certain aspects of our life bring us naturally by virtue of living in the metropolitan city. Instead of fussing through the things that slow us down, embrace them and make them work for you. Today, speaker and author Leslie Pohl will give you a tool that is not only an excellent exercise in patience, but a new perspective on moving through your day. Join me in welcoming our speaker, Leslie Pohl.
Mr. Toastmaster and Toast writers and special guests. How would you like it if you had a special place all your own, where you could listen to the kind of music you want to, where you were in total control of the temperature, where there were no I wants, I needs, can you get it? How would you feel about that place? Would you want that place? Yes. I'll tell you, I need it.
Yeah.
Audience participation.
Oh,
Well, you do already have that place in traffic. Now, it's easy to get caught up in all the negatives about traffic, the exhaust fumes, the 3 to 5 minute roll stop that happens for 45 minutes, and of course, the extra hour you have to get up in order to deal with all that. But what if you use that to your advantage? Where else are you allowed to think of no one but yourself? How often are you able to do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, just for you? How many times in your day are you allowed to just be still? And it's okay. It's allowed. Not too often, I'm guessing. So you want to use that time for you. In traffic, you can return phone calls with a handheld device, of course, the earpiece. So driving, text, it's bad. You can make notes. You can set your goals. You can plan. You can do all these things in the car, because think about it. Have you guys watched what people do in their car? I mean, seriously. I've seen people read the paper. I've seen people shave. I've seen women put on makeup. It's a hazard out there. And that's just in traffic. That's the roll stop. So you might as well use it to your advantage as well. I like to play card games because I get bored. I have shiny ball syndrome. So I like to do different things. And what I'll do is I'll watch 2 different cars. Sometimes I'll even pick like the same color and say there are 2 white cars. Okay, let's see which one is going to be going faster. Who's going to win? They have to get to that point by such and such a time, and I'll do the commentary of which one is going the fastest and who wins. So just to entertain myself while I'm sitting there in traffic. One day I was sitting in traffic, and I noticed, and I never knew this before, there are 2 different color tags depending upon when you registered at the beginning half of the year and the second half of the year. I never noticed that. But driving from Palmdale to Thousand Oaks, I had plenty of time on my hands, so I just happened to notice that there were 2 different colors. Never noticed that before. So using that time to benefit you is a better way to look at traffic. Because I don't know, every time I mention traffic, oh, I hate traffic, I can't stand traffic. Traffic's your friend. It gives you time and space to be you, if you know the place, especially people with families. Where else do you get to just be you? You know? There are other aspects of our life that we forget too. I was an executive assistant for many years. And why do you think the copier always breaks down when you're in a hurry? Why do you think that is?
make it stop.
What's that? Well, it does that because you're rushing something that doesn't have a speed button. Copiers don't have a speed button. So the process is the same process no matter how fast you want it to go. It's going to take as long as it takes to do that. I remember being an executive assistant planning for a meeting. Of course, my boss gave me some additions and some changes late. And not only did I have to copy them, but I also had to go to the binding machine, which also does not have a speed button. I asked a coworker to help me out. She was just like, are you gonna make it? Are you gonna you gotta get it in there. Like, we're gonna lose our job because we don't get this in there, like in the next 5 minutes. Like, well, he gave it to me late. I was ready. That's on him. So it's gonna take as long as it takes. But she could not understand why I was not getting right, because she was just a mess. I told her, it's gonna take as long as it takes. The copier does not have a speed button, and I've already alerted them that it's going to be late. So for them to share until I get them all in. I covered my base. I did what I could do within the, the realm of stuff I had, so that they're taken care of, and I can do what I have to do. That's all I needed to do. So she needs to understand that it's going to take as long as it takes. One last thing I'd like you to consider is standing in line. We all like to hurry up and get in line. And there's always that cashier that has absolutely no sense of urgency at all. And there's always someone in front of you and behind you to remind you of that fact and wanting you to co-sign on their rant. Embrace that time. Because again, where else can you just stand there? And it's okay. But if you want to have a little fun, when that person notoriously wants to get you to buy in on that rant, bring a little knowledge off on them. And just tell them, I appreciate your position, but how often do you just get to stand there? There are going to be some people that are going to be, wow, that's really cool. But most people, they're going to be mad. So I'm warning you now. You're going to make a few people mad. But it's really interesting to see the aha moment in some people because it really gets them thinking that, wow, you're right. Why am I rushing through this? Here's an opportunity for me to just be still. And we don't get too many opportunities, especially nowadays, to just be still. So hopefully, I've given you at least 3 ways to just chill out, relax, and let the world do what it does, and you can just move slowly through it. Because now, you have the secret. You have the key to unlock your mind.
Good job, Leslie. Good
So Leslie is an advocate of just chilling out. I'm trying to reconcile what Leslie said with what Millie said earlier. This part about it's going to take as long as it takes. That's like managing Upwork. And I wonder when it comes time to ask for that raise, how's that going to play out? But anyway, great information. If I'm on the freeway, I'm going to pay more just the tags on the license plate. I didn't realize they changed colors during the year. But that is something to do other than sit there angry all the time.
Motivational tapes you can listen to.
Motivational tape. Okay, I remember all of this stuff. Our next speaker, we got she's ready to roll.
You ready, Diane?
Be in the moment.
Matt Levine got his start in life as a waiter, cashier, / busboy, while whistling during the graveyard shift. After being paid handsomely to stop, he decided to give Hollywood a try. Within the next few decades, he won 7 songwriting and composing awards, had 2 essays published, collaborated with his ex-wife and created 2 children, and built a chicken coop, much to the chagrin of the chickens. Please welcome a poet who doesn't quite yet
All right, man.
I'm just going to read a few poems from my book. The first one's called Flower Arranging. American flower arranging involves throwing bunches of them together. Big ones, small ones, fluffy ones, pouty ones, colorful ones, plain ones, delicate ones, full ones, languid ones, conservative and liberal ones, stoic ones, military ones, and beatnik ones. And don't forget the fern leaves, maybe some grass, and lots of baby's breath to obscure any white space that might creep in between the shapes. And now, voila! We have a blossoming cluster bomb exploding in all its variegated glory, embodying our impassioned desire and hunger for more, lots more, because more is beautiful and more is better. Because the gold medal goes to us, for we are the champions, and God bless Miss America! Ikebana, Japanese flower arranging. Line, drama, simplicity, contrast, space, innovation, beauty. Okay, this is part memoir, part poem. Clippings. My wife is clipping her fingernails, casually, over the trash can, her mind elsewhere. The debris falls everywhere, but in the trash can. She says her effort to catch them is just a symbolic gesture. I suppose our marriage is a symbolic gesture, our words to each other falling everywhere but in our hearts.
Oh my goodness.
1844. It was a good year. It had legs, wings even. It wired the world to modern specifications, whipping up a frenzy in the patent office, sending quarks spinning off in trajectories that were novel even for them. They wreaked cosmic havoc, slathering orbs across the darkness, new colors in the harmonic palette, fresh music of the spheres, more known quantities, yet even more imponderables, extra zeros added to the number of possibilities. And yes, we bathed in them, those wonderful zeros, until the trees obscured the forest. We kept bumping into nature, stone or sentinel, it didn't matter. The world was too busy learning calculus and forgetting how to add and subtract. The first became the last, but the last held tight the reins, while nuance was crucified on the cross of troglodytic thought. Children danced and sang ashes to ashes, and we all know what happened next. Thank you. This is called The Great Divide. If Evel Knievel tried to jump the economic chasm between the rich and the poor, he would end up in a puff of smoke at the bottom of the canyon where the middle class is being interred. If Harry Houdini tried to break the shackles of oppression that tether the underclass to Earth's crust, his audience would throw tomatoes at him. If Bozo the Clown asked for food for the needy, his 600 counterparts on Capitol Hill would give him the cold shoulder. Any way you cook it, it tastes awful. As the bandwagon of runaway capitalism rushes madly toward the precipice of sudden death, or, as the media tells it, the horizon of infinite opportunity, the performers in this circus pause to discuss the breakup of a notable teen couple, while the fat lady adjusts her sheet music. Not even Superman can save the sorry bunch, for his cape has been recalled, his belt can no longer wrap around his distended waistline, and his X-ray vision prescription is no longer covered by his HMO.